RAM or random access memory. What this is? RAM stands for random access memory, or we can use a term for that is a RAM. It's a semiconductor memory which is used for read purpose also as well as for write purpose. So we can say that we can write data over there inside the RAM, and we can read the data from a RAM. What is stored inside it? Active portion of a program and data is stored inside your RAM. So when you are running any program, okay, so it goes to the RAM, and the program which use a data that will be also stored inside the RAM. The content of RAM change constantly, or we can say that continuously, as the computer execution is doing, or whenever the program is running. So its content is changing, means the data inside the RAM is continuously changing while you opening one program, while you're closing a program. So whenever you open that, the data will come inside the RAM. When you close that, it goes out from the RAM. So the content of your RAM or the data of your RAM will be changing time to time whenever you are running a program. So maybe it needs some data. That data will come inside the RAM whenever the processing is finished, okay, then it goes out from the RAM. So it depends upon your program to program. RAMs play a very important role in the processing speed of computer. Whenever your computer have a large amount of RAM, your processing speed will be faster. When the processor, whenever you have a less size of RAM, your processing speed will be slower. I'm going to give you example. You're using P3 computer, or let's suppose Core i3 computer, and your RAM capacity is 1 GB. So your processor is faster, but your RAM is low. So what will happening whenever the data is fetching from the RAM? So the large amount of data will not get inside the RAM. So it will decrease the speed of the processing. So large size RAM provide large amount of information to a computer for processing, and hence increase the processing speed, which I have talked later on, which I have talked previously. The major the major disadvantage in RAM, that is a volatile memory. While you turn off your computer, the content or the data from the RAM is lost, or we can say that the data which is stored inside the RAM will be deleted. Whenever you turn on your computer again, so the data will come back inside the RAM. How? While you turn on your computer, you open the program, so the data will come back inside the RAM. But maybe some of students have a question here. Sir, while I hibernate my computer and I turn off my computer after hibernation, so power to the computer is off. So when I turn on, everything which I have previously opened or played will as it is displayed inside the computer. How it is possible? You are saying that RAM is a volatile memory. This is your question that you are going to answer for that, or you're going to search for that. How this is happening inside your computer when you hibernate your computer? There are two types of RAM. One is a dynamic RAM, or which is known as a DRAM. Another one is a static RAM. Another type of RAM is a dynamic RAM, or we can say that DRAM. It's the most common type of RAM in a computer. Why would say it common? Because our computer is using the RAM of this type. Normally all the computer have a dynamic RAM, okay, and each dynamic RAM chip contains million of memory cells. Inside this chip or inside the memory, the RAM chip, million of memory cells are there. A memory cell, what it is basically an electronic switch, okay, which have a two state, on and off. On represent binary 1 and 0 represent binary off. How these memory cells are created? These memory cells are made or create of a transistor or a capacitor, okay. So transistors are used, not capacitor, because previously we got a capacitors. Right now we are using transistors over there. So these transistors are combined to make one switch, and which is known as a memory cell. Right now, if you know that these transistor or capacitor need every time electricity, okay, if you want the data is kept inside it, every time you need to give electricity to it to remember that what state I have a 0 or I have a 1. So to every cell we have to give a charge, okay. So each memory cell can store one bit of information. A small amount of power is put into the cell to store one bit of information. Right now, whenever you are not giving that energy, so the data may be leak out, okay. So this energy leak out quickly, so means that in a second, okay, you are going to give 50 times or 40 times the charge in a 1 second. Okay, take it, take it, take it, take it. Constantly you're going to give a charge over there. So this energy leak out quickly, therefore computer must recharge all the cells in a memory chip many times per second. Therefore the information will be otherwise the information will be lost if you are not giving a charge, okay. So what will happening, the content of the cell will be lost, or the 0 which is there or 1 which is there inside the cell of your dynamic RAM will be lost. It is used in a computer as a temporary memory. Yes, these are basically also known as a temporary memory. The another one RAM type is a static RAM or SRAM. The static RAM is the advanced version of our dynamic RAM. We can say that we does not need to give every time power to these cells, so that the content is going to be live, okay. So what these are static RAMs are, static RAM work in different way. It does not work like a dynamic RAM. Each memory cell of a static RAM is like an electronic switch having two state, which is on and off. I think so. Most of you know that in a static RAM or dynamic RAM, again same switch is there. Okay, one is stored for on state and 0 is stored for off state. It does not need to be recharged, but it is required more transistor than dynamic RAM. Okay, I've told you that it does not need to recharge it again and again. Once the data is put inside it, okay, so next time no need of giving electricity to remember that 0 or 1 for you. But problem is that it need more transistors. I've told you that for single cell in dynamic memory we need one transistor over there, but here in a static memory we need more transistors for holding one cell. It is fastest memory than our dynamic RAM, but it is expensive. Why? Because more transistors are used, and we utilize it where? We does not use it for normal RAM. This static RAM is only used for our cache memory inside your computer. Which one cache? Which we have discussed, which is available inside your processor, which is available inside your microprocessor. So this static RAM is inside your microprocessor by name of a cache memory. ROM, or we can say that read-only memory. The process of entering data in a ROM is called programming the ROM. Whenever we want to write something inside the ROM, so it is known as a programming a ROM. Or we can say that flashing a ROM. The another word which is used for programming a ROM is known as a flashing a ROM. Some ROM cannot have their data, or we can say that their data can be changed once they have been programmed. Whenever you buy some of the ROM, so they are empty, and who are going to program that? Basically manufacturer are going to program that. Some ROMs are there which can be erased and can be reprogrammed again. It depends upon a requirement, as often as required by the manufacturer. ROMs are used to store programs that are frequently required and are not to be changed during the operation of the computer. When ROMs are required, whenever you don't want to change the data, so at that time we need to store our program on a ROM. Okay, and that program which are frequently required, frequently used, so at that time we need to store our program on a ROM. But remember that we don't need to change the content of the ROM frequently. Okay, all ROMs are non-volatile memories, or we can say that whenever the power to the ROM is off, the data will be not deleted, because programs stored in them are not lost when the computer is turned off. So therefore they are known as a non-volatile memory. There are three types of ROMs. First one is a PROM, EPROM and EEPROM. PROM means programmable ROM, EPROM electronically programmable read-only memory, EEPROM electrically erasable programmable read-only memory. Later on we will discuss all these three types. PROM, programmable ROM. The another name for a PROM is a programmable ROM, or we can say that it stands for programmable ROM. By its name shows that we can program it. Okay, a programmable ROM is a semiconductor chip that is obtained from manufacturer. So these are available through the manufacturer, and these are semiconductor chips. What we are going to do, they are empty basically, so we are going to program it, or we are going to write our program inside it, or we can say that we are going to flash it. It depends upon your requirement that which chip you need to program. It can be programmed only once. This sentence is important. PROMs are programmed only once. If you have written a program inside it and it have any bug, then second time you cannot program it. What you're going to do? You're going to abolish that ROM by another ROM and write your code inside it again. PROMs are used in electronic machine that required some information to be stored in it permanently. The data will be stored inside it permanent, and they are used for some electronic device, just like for toys or for some electronic machines. Okay, so they are used for that. Another category of ROM is EPROM. This is enhanced version of a PROM, but it is known as a erasable programmable ROM. Its content can be erased, but how we can erase that? By ultraviolet rays. It's mean that whenever you want to erase the data from it, you're going to take out your chip from your motherboard and put inside the sunlight. So after 2 or 3 minutes, the content or the program which was stored on a EPROM will be erased, and then you can again reprogram it. This procedure can be carried out many times. You can again and again reprogram it, okay, by putting your EPROM in ultraviolet rays. However, the constant erasing and rewriting will eventually make the chip useless. Means again and again if you're doing it, so it will be your chip will be becoming slower or useless. Okay, so it is not like this that regularly you're going to reprogram. On a requirement basis, you can reprogram it. Maybe you think so, where they were using? They were used in your computer motherboard. Previous motherboards, they were available on that. So whenever you want to reprogram it, so you're going to take out that chip and put in sunlight and again reprogram it and put back inside your computer. And for which purpose they were used? They were used for BIOS. Okay, so EPROM are generally used for programming or programs designed for repeated such as BIOS, but they can be unplugged with a later version, or they can be upgraded with a later version of program. So means if you want to reprogram it, so another version of if you want to uh, put a BIOS latest version inside it, so what you're going to do, you're going to first of all erase it and then put upgraded version of a BIOS inside it. But right now in latest computers we are not using EPROMs, remember that. Okay, in a previous computers they were using EPROM. Right now in our computers, the chip which are using for a BIOS, that is a EEPROM, electrically erasable programmable read-only memory. EEPROM, electrically erasable programmable read-only memory. EEPROM is being used for ROM application, means that it is a non-volatile memory. Okay, and it is used for applications. EEPROM can be altered while being used in a logical board or logic board by use some special power circuit and white pulse generator. Whenever you want to program it, there are two things inside a EEPROM. One is upgrading, another one is reprogramming. Okay, so whenever you want to reprogram it, you have to take it out the ROM from it and put inside the another circuit board, and then you're going to reprogram it. But the thing when you need to upgrade it, so no need of taking out the chip from your motherboard. It will be on a motherboard and you can upgrade it electrically. The EEPROM can work like a read-write semiconductor memory. Yes, you can write the data inside it, you can read the data from that. While retaining the non-volatile nature of ROM and PROM. It has same the nature of a ROM and PROM, means it is the enhanced version of a PROM. Okay, it has the same nature of a non-volatile memory, means the content or the data of the EPROM will be not removed or deleted when you turn off the power. This type of ROM works in similar way just like a flash memory. They are just like same as static memory or flash memory. When you turn off the power, the content will be available inside it. It is used to store a computer system BIOS. I have told you in a previous slide that PROMs were used for BIOS, but whenever EEPROM came, so EEPROM replaced the PROM and BIOS was put inside the EEPROM of your motherboard, and it can be upgraded without removing it from the motherboard or circuit board or logical board. So no need of taking out the chip from your motherboard and put inside the another circuitry while you want to upgrade it. So directly on your computer or on your motherboard you can upgrade it.